Many years ago, the districts of Lindau and Oberallgäu and the city of Kempten joined together to form the Kempten Waste Management Association, or ZAK, to use its German initials. The waste management task of avoidance, recycling and disposal is carried out by ZAK in an economical and environmentally friendly way. With collected reusable materials and with power and heat generation, ZAK has been transformed from a waste disposal company into a raw material and energy supplier. The districts of Oberallgäu and Lindau, as well as the city of Kempten, each sent 8 representatives to the Association Board of ZAK. Promulgation of statutes, disposal of household and bulky waste, fee collection, bin management, consulting, and public relations, those are the different tasks of ZAK. ZAK Holding is primarily responsible for acquiring financial resources and for preparing the annual reports. Its supervisory board is made up of the members of the Association Board. Acquisition and marketing of recyclable materials, composting, planning, construction and operation of the necessary facilities are the tasks of ZAK Abfallwirtschaft GmbH. ZAK Energie GmbH ensures power plant operation comprising thermal utilization of residual waste and waste wood, sale of energy, disposal of residual waste, planning, construction and maintenance of related facilities. Across the association's region covering 2,000 square kilometers, ZAK recycles waste produced by 300,000 local residents and 12 million overnight guests. What finds a new owner neither needs to be recycled nor disposed of, and also makes a contribution to social projects. Furniture, household appliances, decorative items, electrical appliances and much more. What one person no longer needs is still worth money to the other. By reusing instead of throwing away, the product life of many things is often extended by years. This is real waste avoidance and protection of important resources. The free ZAK box is available at selected recycling centers for the small, no longer needed items of daily use. In this collection box, functional and usable crockery, toys, small appliances, sports equipment, books or tools can be handed over to recycling centers or directly to the second-hand department stores. Sorted and refurbished, they go on sale. Collecting and separating recyclables from residual waste is the second of the 5 pillars of the ZAK waste treatment concept. As a special service, ZAK offers free paper bins for households. This makes it possible to recycle newspapers, magazines, mixed paper and cardboard. 555 recycling islands in the association's region ensure that almost everyone has an island within walking distance. This is where the recyclable materials most commonly found in households are taken, namely glass, cans, paper and sales packaging. Thanks to state-of-the-art sorting facilities, citizens in the ZAK area no longer need to separate sheet metal, plastic bottles, yogurt cups and foils. All this is mixed and placed in one container. At the 39 recycling centers in the ZAK region, around 30 different recyclables can be submitted. The recycling bag for sales packaging, it removes the need for separate collection of the individual fractions. And mixed plastics, films, bottles, cups, cardboard composites, polystyrene moldings or polystyrene chips no longer need to be separated. Today, that's done automatically by state-of-the-art sorting plants. Electronic scrap is collected together at the recycling centers in different groups, primarily to recover the valuable metals. Waste paper is the most important raw material for the paper industry. It can cover over 75% of paper demand. Newspapers and magazines are turned back into high-quality print media, while mixed paper typically becomes packaging material. In separate chambers, the glass containers are emptied on location according to the colors green, white and brown. It is only this assorted delivery that enables the recyclers in the treatment plants to work efficiently. Beams, boards, boxes, pallets, doors, you name it, each year over 15,000 tons of waste wood finds its way to the recycling centers in the ZAK region. Valuable for the wood-fired cogeneration plant. Local trucking companies transport the waste wood to a processing yard, where it is crushed into wood chips. The partner companies are also responsible for storage. They guarantee that delivery to the cogeneration plant stays in line with requirements. Stones, concrete, brick, porcelain, sanitary ware, tiles, all of this is recyclable construction waste used in the construction industry. In contrast, waste gypsum, aircrete, cement and plaster residues or scrap glass all need to be landfilled. Bulky waste is residual waste that doesn't fit into bins. But one man's trash might well be another man's treasure. And the bulky waste exchange also helps to avoid waste. Paints, varnishes and batteries, problem waste is collected at 31 recycling centers in the ZAK region. Waste that is even more toxic, such as mercury, acids, alkalis and pesticides, is handled by the mobile problem waste collection specialists. Fermenting and composting organic waste, that's the third pillar of the ZAK waste management concept. Salad, fruit, stale bread, withered flowers and garden waste are valuable raw materials and significant energy suppliers. Every household can use the compost bin to reduce its residual waste, thus saving waste charges. Organic waste can be dropped off, also in larger quantities, at compost centers and directly at the fermentation plant Kempten from private households free of charge. By consistently minimizing all environmentally relevant emissions, ZAK guarantees energy generation in an environmentally sound and economical operation. In the fermentation plant of Kempten around 24,000 tons of organic waste are transformed into heat for the equivalent of 1,200 and electricity for 2,400 households. This leaves around 8,500 tons of excellent compost soil. In a helical mill, the bio-waste is crushed and mixed with green cuttings. The pre-treated organic material is mixed with fermentation substrate from the fermenter, heated to about 55 degrees Celsius, and pumped into the fermenter, where it remains for about 20 days. The input amount, substrate circulation, temperature, and also pressure in the gas chamber are all controlled and monitored by computer. In 3 cogeneration plants with gas engines, the resulting biogas is converted into electrical and thermal energy. A part of the heat energy supplies the adjacent garden center. For 5 weeks, the fermentation residue from post-rotting is traversed with air streaming through an aeration floor and simultaneously temperature-controlled, composted and dried. In the final treatment, the finished compost soil is cleaned of residual foreign material using a flip-flow screen. The vacuum-extracted air is cleaned in a wet scrubber and in a highly efficient biofilter with natural microbacteria. Only what now remains belongs in the energy bin. From the big waste container for 1,100 litres to the 120-litre Euro standard bin, which can be reduced by variable inserts down to 40 litres, you have the choice. The better you separate your refuse, the more fees you save. In 1996, one of the most advanced waste-to-energy plants in Europe was put into operation. The location of the plant, the Industry and Business Park Ursulasried, has proven highly suitable. Short transport routes save time and money and protect the environment. Residual waste is continuously shipped to the plant from the ZAK region. Inside the plant, residual waste and commercial waste are transformed into suppliers of energy. The combustible material bunker has a storage capacity of 1,800 tons, enough to compensate for fluctuating delivery quantities and maintenance times at the facility. To ensure that the fire in the compact furnace never goes out, the crane cabin is manned around the clock. The operator has to have a good feel for the right mix of combustible material. In the bunker, he mixes the residual waste into a fuel that guarantees steady and even combustion. The compact furnace burns an average of 10 tons of fuel an hour at a minimum of 850 degrees Celsius. The combustible material is continuously circulated via pushback movement of the grate and mixed with newly supplied fuel. This process guarantees an intensive and low-emission combustion process that leaves only slag as a residue. The control room, the brain of the plant, is manned around the clock to regulate and monitor all operations. Air is sucked out of the bunker and then mixes all the as yet unburned gases in the furnace, which then burn away in the afterburner. The hot flue gases flow through the boiler and enter a multi-stage flue gas cleaning plant. In the electrostatic precipitator, the dust particles, and thus the majority of the heavy metals in the flue gas, are removed. In the first washing stage, the chlorine and fluorine compounds are dissolved, and the last of the fine dust particles are bound. In the second stage, the sulfur dioxide is washed out by adding pulverized limestone. In the catalytic converter, the nitrogen oxides are broken down into water vapor and nitrogen, natural components of our atmosphere. Simultaneously, the existing dioxins and furans are destroyed. If any pollutant residues still remain, they are removed in the entrained flow adsorber. The flue gas is now nearly 100% pure and leaves the plant in a controlled manner through the chimney. Combustion and cleaning processes create valuable materials and residues. In the slag processing plant, ferrous and non-ferrous metals are removed, and the remainder is used as construction material in the landfill and mining industry. The diluted hydrochloric acid from the hydrochloric scrubbing is purified by distillation and then concentrated to form technically pure hydrochloric acid. Dust produced during the flue gas cleaning is disposed of an in- and underground residue landfill. At the waste-to-energy plant, keeping the air in the Allgäu clean is the top priority. This is why ZAK has done far more in flue gas cleaning than is required by law. For SO2, or sulfur dioxide, the emissions from the waste-to-energy plant are less than 1 mg per standard cubic meter. The legal limits for dust, nitrogen oxides, hydrogen chloride, and carbon monoxide are also 10 to 50 times higher, and the residual value for dioxins and furans is almost zero. With the wood-fired cogeneration plant, ZAK has established a further milestone in its successful waste management concept. For the Allgäu region, this is eco-friendly energy production, replacing more pollution-intensive energy sources. The plant takes the strain off the environment. Thanks to intelligent logistics, waste wood delivery takes place just in time. 150 tons of wood can be delivered daily. Via moving floors, the wood reaches a vibration channel, which serves as a mixing and dosing conveyor. Several chain conveyors then transport the wood to the roof of the plant and into a downpipe leading to the furnace. Before the clean flue gases reach the outside, they are examined objectively and carefully by TÜV-calibrated instruments. Back to energy generation. 2 generators produce up to 10 megawatts of electricity, which are fed into the grid of the Allgäuer Überlandwerk, the energy demand of nearly 20,000 households. To optimally utilize the waste heat, the more than 47-kilometer-long district heating network is being further extended. The energy network of waste-to-energy plant and wood-fired cogeneration plant supplies numerous homes, businesses and public buildings with district heating, energy for the equivalent of around 18,500 households. This energy from eco-friendly production replaces the use of 36 million liters of heating oil or 36 million cubic meters of natural gas. The 2 powerhouses, the waste-to-energy plant and the wood-fired cogeneration plant, have thus become powerful energy partners and are also the biggest environmental mitigators in the region. Around 66,000 tons of CO2 are avoided in this way. That's about 10% of the CO2 produced by the entire city of Kempten. A peak load center with a reserve capacity of 45 megawatts guarantees the supply of heat even on the coldest days. 2 20-meter-high heat reservoirs optimize the heat output of the waste and wood-fired cogeneration plants for high energy efficiency. This reduces the amount of natural gas needed by the peak load center by about 330,000 cubic meters, a heat potential of 3,000 megawatt-hours per year. The 2 containers work like a thermos. Excess hot water from night operation is pumped into the reservoir, expelling the cold water, and the reservoir is now charged. To cover demand peaks during the day, the operators pump cold water back in from below, discharging the heat reservoir. The district heat line is far more than just a pipeline. Thanks to the excellent insulation, heat loss throughout the system is only just 5 degrees Celsius at a starting temperature of 135 degrees Celsius. A built-in early warning system ensures safety. All consumers up to the transfer station are connected to a district heat monitoring system. Irregularities are automatically reported to the control center before the customer notices a thing. With its commitment to the Biomassehof Allgäu, ZAK also relies on renewable energy from local forests, firewood in all forms from Allgäu logs. With the participation of ZAK, BioEnergie Oberallgäu and BioEnergie Allgäu operate biomass heating plants in Sonthofen and Scheidegg. With 30,000 square meters of photovoltaic systems, ZAK also uses the sun, shining on the roofs of recycling centers and on some old landfills, for the recovery of renewable energy. We want a clean homeland, and ZAK is proceeding consistently towards the goal. With regard to decisions, information and environmental relief.